Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jaylee. This is JayLeesCorner. This is going to be my quick off camera, okay, because I don't plan to be on camera at all, for my review of Snowfall. Look, Snowfall aired for 6 seasons, okay? The finale of it just came on Wednesday, and I was like, I wanted to give folk time to one actually watch the series finale before I did a little recap of the whole season, and then I just needed some time to get to it. Okay, so because nothing comes on today, which is Sunday, I was like, okay, I want to come here and be able to just give a little chit chat for the whole series. Okay, I think at one point I may have reviewed the show. Was it either season 1, maybe season 2? I can't remember. But I have always loved this show. I was watching it before it got popular. It got popular during season 2. I was watching during season 1. Okay? I was watching it before it came out. I'm not watching it, but I knew the show before it came out. So I was like anticipating it because John Singleton was promoting it and everything. Okay? But before I get into my recap of the whole series, I want y'all to do a couple of things. So one, make sure that you have already subscribed to my channel. To become a whole JayBird, okay? So please make sure to like the video, comment in the comment section, follow me on social media at JayLeesCorner on IG, also on Twitter, and TikTok the talk, okay? And just, you know what I'm saying, be an active participant, okay? In the, not the foolishness, because this show didn't really have foolishness in that way, okay? But again, participate in what we're going to discuss on this show. Now, this probably will not be no long live, but I just want to kind of go character by character, and then discuss the series finale, because a lot of folks did not like the finale. I don't know why, though. I felt, let me say hey. Wait. Hey to the people who's watching. Okay, hello. Hey, Ray. Wait, hey, Ray. That's my friend. Hey, Ray, how you doing? Your birthday next month. Hey, friend. Okay. Hey, Ma. Now, Mama ain't watched this show, but she watching me, so that's fine. Okay. But again, you know, it is what it is. Okay. But I want to get into the show. So again, 6 seasons. John Singleton wrote and created this show. Okay, we know that John Singleton passed away during season 4. I think he passed away during when it was making season 4, if I'm not mistaken. It may have been season 3. I can't remember. However, the fact that Any show that we get that is able to do, they open the show and they're able to do a real closer, meaning they know the show's ending and they can write a full story, is amazing to me. You know, and that's a good thing because so many shows we have don't know they're gonna end. They find out it's gonna be a last season too late, and then the season ending don't make no damn sense. But they wrote a full story. Okay, a full story. I really like the finale a lot. I couldn't have guessed it. Predictable and real. Snowfall to downfall. You know, and I think some people expected something easier or some kind of good or bad ending. They didn't expect an ending that would kind of keep going in life. Okay. So for me, I feel like season one, like if you didn't watch the beginning, okay, because you forget about Kevin and how young they really were in the beginning. In the beginning, okay, during season one, uh Franklin was the smart kid who had all this just the world was his oyster, meaning people felt like he could do anything he wanted, anything he set his mind to. He was smart, was going to good school, and all that stuff. Leon, who had been in like was like juvie or whatever, he was the bad kid. Okay, him and Frank was best friends, and then Kevin, who was just jumped to the other friend or whatever. We know, rest in peace, Kevin. Kevin is now playing Uncle Lou on Raising Canaan on Stars, one of 50 Cent shows. So I was like, he went on to do other things. Okay, Uncle Jerome, okay, even how happy go lucky he was in the beginning, how close him and Franklin was in the beginning. So a lot of the show during season one, was such a amazing show. And I'm like, and then 6 seasons later, it was a bunch of craziness. Okay, we had Ivy, okay, with how Franklin got his money, Mel, Franklin's first love, and Franklin killed her father. Father. It was so much that happened every season that to me made this show what it was. Okay, even cracked out Wanda and cracked out Mel. Okay, I feel like people don't really get how great this show was. This show to me, every episode, because each episode was an hour. To me, every episode was fully a movie. Like every episode was a whole story within itself. The writing was so good to me the whole 6 seasons. I know folk feel like it could have been this. No, no, no. You can't want shows to have these cookie cutter, explainable, easily obtained situations. Okay. They had family time together. And I feel like people just maybe don't even get how much happened over this time frame. Franklin from the beginning to who Franklin was at the end. Like he was a kid. Look at how young Franklin looked. I think the show shot maybe like 7 to 8 years or whatever over the 4 6 seasons. So he's grown up literally in front of our faces. Okay, that orange shirt, okay, was always around here. Leon was always in some little khakis. Them saying, look, it was cute. And even though Mel left the show after her father was killed and after she shot Franklin, I still feel like her contribution to the show was great too, because it showed how young-minded she was doing crack, okay, how partying, okay, and how life can sometimes come real fast. Even her and Wanda, who wasn't that cool, but we want to get high together. We need to get high together. The family dynamic in the beginning was great. Now, I want to touch on the relationship between Franklin and his mama and Franklin and his daddy. Okay. Now, if y'all don't recall, in season one, we didn't really see Alton. The only thing we saw or heard of the daddy was the scene when Louie and Franklin was in the car. and you seen a homeless person like walking across the street or whatever, and we then was told, oh, that's Franklin daddy. Franklin did not like his father. He did not like Alton at all. And, Alton and Cissy were not together. Cissy was raising Franklin without Alton because he was, again, out on the streets, an alcoholic, homeless man or whatever, just out there doing whatever. Now, Franklin and Cissy, during season 1, was as thick as thieves. She loved her son loved her. Now, Cissy didn't know that he was selling weed at first, and did not like when she found out he was not only selling weed, but selling that cocaine. Okay? And as strong of a bond that he had with his mama, they fell out in that first season or 2 where she was not talking to him because he was selling drugs, and she did not want to accept that. And he was more pissed off when he found out that because Alton got beaten up on the streets, that she took him in to help him get better, and they end up getting back together because Alton got clean and all that stuff and got better. Okay, Alton was also someone who went off to war, came back with PTSD, and then hit the bottom. Alcoholism. Okay, also Franklin never was drinking. Franklin was not a drinker at all. When we seen in season 6, he had a little drinking thing, went downhill. So the dynamic between how he was with his mother and how he was with his father is crazy, because seeing how things ended between him and Cissy kind of wasn't so unbelievable, because Cissy stopped talking to him once he made the decision to keep selling drugs back in season, I think that was like in season 2. Like the end of season 1 and season 2, when she found out, him and her was beefed out. And she eventually came back around and, accepted him selling drugs or whatever, and then like helped him make shit legit. Him and Alton also got better, you know what I'm saying? And they tried to help him. Now the kicker is both Cissy and Alton tried to do what they thought was best to get Franklin out of selling drugs for the CIA. And the fact that Alton made the decision to go do a public interview outing Teddy, and how Cissy made a public action of shooting Teddy in broad daylight. Both of them did something in the front of the public, hoping to stop Franklin from having to or being involved with the CIA. Now, they both end up in their lives in one way or the other, with Alton, being killed by Teddy later, and Cissy killing Teddy later and then going to jail for it. So both his parents, in their own way, made their own decision trying to stop Franklin, and both times Franklin got pissed. He was pissed at his father for that interview that he did. He was pissed at his mama for killing Teddy. Well, Teddy could give him that money. Either way it go, I think over the seasons, all of their scenes acting out together, even in season 6, where Franklin is so pissed at Cissy that he's like, "Mama, you're gonna be in jail if you not getting out. So to sign the house over to me, I'm gonna sell it." You know what I'm saying? And when she just would not talk to him, I said, "Well, because Negro, you got rid of her stuff." Okay, so it's weird that Franklin has felt the need to always feel like, I don't care what y'all did, I'm pissed, do what I want you to do. Okay, also what we forgot was, to me, Louie and Jerome, and also Lucia, who was the first drug connect in the beginning, who she went away. I still feel like the way she went away did not make sense. I'm like, did she die in real life? I don't know, but she kind of went away and did not come back. Okay, that was who Gustavo was first in love with. But she was a person who Franklin was first, she was first with the drug stuff, because she was the one who was working with Teddy. Okay, now even Jerome and Louie in the beginning did not want Franklin selling drugs. Louie was the one who helped him get in touch with Claudia. Louie was the one who gave him a gun when he had to get his drugs back. But Jerome never wanted him in it. Jerome kept on saying, "Don't you get involved with this stuff. Don't you get from the methods or whatever." So it was weird how each person who was involved with it either helped or didn't help in a certain way that still pushed Franklin deeper into the drug shit. Now, one character I feel like we have to discuss is Scully. Scully, to me, had this Frank Franklin's arc was one thing, but seeing Scully go from the crazed dude in the projects who nobody really want to fuck with because he's crazy, he be doing drugs or whatever, he's insane, to his calm, cool, zen self in the series finale, I was like, who would have thunk it? I feel like DeAndre played this role so amazingly well. Like, it was so much growth. Even seeing how Scully and Leon had to have the conversation, Scully forgiving Leon for killing his daughter. Like, Scully was really around here trying to kill everybody because his daughter was accidentally killed. Okay, and then the fact that Jerome and them then killed the baby mama, I feel like Scully was crazy at first. And seeing how he was able to find peace and lived through it all because he was one of the people who tried to rectify and correct all the damage he did. I mean, he was still selling drugs, but he fully accepted he had been a fucked up person or whatever, doing crazy things, and he wasn't that person anymore. So he was trying to just, repent and, make up for all the crazy shit he did. Now, Gustavo, who all Gustavo also wanted to do was wrestle. Because in the beginning, he was a wrestler. That's how Franklin knew him. And Franklin just happened to bump into him because when Franklin was trying to sell some drugs or whatever and got caught up by the Mexicans. And Gustavo was able to get him out of there. Like, man, leave that kid alone. You know what I'm saying? He ain't doing shit. Leave him be or whatever. So Gustavo saved Franklin that time. And every time after that, they was always saving each other. Even when they was in the damn cave with that tiger. Gustavo and Franklin also had a good friendship to where neither one of them did not do what they said it was going to do for the other one. Like, they never lied to each other. So the fact that Gustavo was also somebody who was able to get out basically unharmed. Like, he was able to flee the border because, Franklin gave him the money. Franklin got him the passports. Franklin, helped him get his family out of there. And then flew Gustavo somewhere else. And we seen Gustavo have check his phone thing, and old girl called like, we safe, we miss you, we love you, and if you're able to come to us, come to us. So technically, Gustavo had one of the more positive outlooks on freedom because he didn't seem too bothered. He was happy that the family, that he let go was okay and unharmed. And while he was over there, probably in Mexico somewhere, I don't know, a Spanish-speaking location, he was okay because they were okay and they still loved him. Gustavo was down, okay? He was really owning the game because of how much Gustavo was in love with Lucia. And he was really always trying to get back to her, but she was gone. But with him getting in a drug game, him making sure that his family was safe, I was like, I just want to wrestle. The fact that his ending was him teaching wrestling somewhere where they speak Spanish was like, okay, I guess that's the best he can get. But I like the fact that the reason he saved Franklin from Teddy was because Franklin was the only one who really did what he said he was going to do. You want to be out the country? I'm going to give you the money. I'm going to get you the passports. And so Franklin did what he wanted. So he knew it wasn't about, well, I'm going to say I'm going to do something if you do this. Franklin just did. I think that's the reason why Gustavo helped him get him free from Teddy and the KGB. So Gustavo, congratulations, you're out. Okay? Wanda. I think a lot of folk, because Wanda did not have such a huge role at first. She was dating Leon, got hooked on crack, and then I think a lot of folks remember her as Crackhead Wanda. I felt like, no, Wanda was a gorgeous girl who was in love with Leon. Leon was in love with her, but the crack, it was motherfucking crack that got her out of that. I love the fact that she got clean because Leon got her clean. the fact that she was like the neighborhood whore because she was out here doing things for money for crack. And he knew that, but he still loved her. And then once she, got down bad and she got shot trying to look out for him, he put her in the little hospital, paid the bill, she got clean. And then from there, he just kept like helping her from afar get clean and clean and clean. And they went over to Ghana, got married. Like, I feel like Wanda's story was always tied to Leon's. But I'm also happy that Wanda got clean for herself. Wanda stayed clean for herself. And Wanda knew, I can't stay here. I can't stand up. It's too much crack on here. I have to go back to Ghana. And we know there's supposedly a spinoff coming that may be centered around Wanda. In the season finale, the series finale episode, when Franklin asked how Wanda doing, and Leon did not say much, I feel like that was like, well, we can't say much because, again, if it's a spinoff, that's probably what we'll see. But even him saying, things ain't always real easy or whatever, but we good. So I feel like the spinoff may be Leon and Wanda. It could be what's going to happen because the series ends with, it was like a 4-year time jump. So we can either see the 4 years of time of her and Leon doing whatever in Ghana, or it can be what happens, after they came back from Ghana. We don't know. But either way it go, I love the fact that her story continued on. She wasn't just a lost face who got high, got clean, and moved on. We followed her story, and we've seen her strength. And her knowing, I love you, Leon. I do, but I got to go. So I just sold all my stuff, and I'm going back to Ghana. So I loved their love story. And even for Leon, who I'm like, I don't think people remember how much of a bad kid he was, his temper. Leon really changed when he shot and killed Scully's daughter. That's when he was like, okay, I'm on some bullshit. I didn't change. So there's like 3 Leons. There's the first wow Leon who ain't getting no fucks or whatever. I'm gonna beat your ass. And like even when Frank, that one time Franklin got arrested and then he had gotten beaten up in prison, and Leon said, you go in there, you beat up the first motherfucker you see. That was his, it's always, we're gonna fight, fuck everything else. And then after he killed the little girl, he just never felt right. So I feel like him and Scully come to terms to him, this ain't sorry, and Scully accepting it and knowing it really wasn't your fault. It was like a bad time for all of us. To who Leon grew to be when he came back, and he was this person really trying to help the community. Like if you like season 1, he didn't get no fucks. He was really about the selling drugs, and that's it. And wait, didn't he? Are you not reviewing? No, I'm not reviewing Power anymore because I like to watch it and enjoy it. I don't have time to review it. Did he cover the kitchen pipe? Yes, Leon did cover one of the pipe, the kitchen pipe, because she kept, running away. And Leon, yes, he had amazing growth. And I think if you only look at the season from season 6, you may forget what he went through in the beginning. Even the fact where he had stashed money that his mama stole and he had to again get it out the mud. He was one of the people who stayed down with Franklin the whole time. Like Franklin, it's the famous line of Franklin, I built this shit brick by brick. I feel like Franklin did build it, but he built it with other people helping him. And Leon was one of the people. Leon at first was a hothead who felt like what I say go. And he did have to learn how to kind of just handle the world and not be so quick to react. And once he started learning and growing, and him just reading books and going and becoming seasoned, he became a better person. So him coming back, after being gone, and Franklin turned it into who he turned into. But Franklin telling him, like, you've always been my best friend, and I'm proud of you. That was amazing. Even folks who felt like, why wouldn't Leon give Franklin some of his money? I'm like, people forget Franklin had more money than all of them. So the fact that Leon, had already given Franklin $500,000 he wasn't gonna get back. For Franklin to want Leon to give him the $3 million he had left did not make sense. And Leon's point was, I can't give you the money because you lost your damn mind. And give you the money ain't gonna help shit. He knew giving him that money would not solve anything. But over the seasons, Franklin and Leon always took care of each other. Even at the time when they was kind of beefed out and not on the same page or whatever, Leon still and Franklin, they still respected each other. And they still took care of each other. That's how it's really how everyone ended up coming together in the end, to save Louie and everything. So people who feel like, why would he have $3 million? Why he didn't? Because it didn't make any sense for him to give Franklin more money at all. Okay, right. Leon with the friend to the end, absolutely. He was really Franklin's best friend. Leon understood why Cissy did what she did. He didn't want to contribute to Franklin's downfall at that point. And I think the fact of the matter, I can't remember if that was before or after. It was before he talked to Cissy, when Franklin came and asked for that money. I also think he realized Franklin is here basically trying to rob me. Because Franklin said, I'm going to take it, I'm going to take it. And I'm like, Nick, you in the hood. Like, he has people. And I think once Franklin started drinking, he sounded, acted, and talked different. And so I think Leon was like, yeah, this ain't, my same friend who was like, he need this for whatever reason. No, he's desperate and he's just doing whatever to get more money. And I can't do that. Like, your mama literally sacrificed herself to get you out of the bind you was in because you want this money. But again, that shows his growth, because I feel like younger Leon maybe would have just given it to him and said, whatever happens, happens. But the more mature Leon knew, I can't give you the money. No, it can't happen. So I loved Leon's growth over the seasons. Now, Aunt Louie and Uncle Jerome. I feel like, I don't want to say, a woman was his downfall, but I feel like the fact that we knew from season 1, Jerome did not want to be involved at all in the drug shit. Like, he did not want to be involved. He didn't want Franklin involved. Louie was the one who told Franklin who to go to and put him in contact with Claudia, gave him the gun. You know what I'm saying? Louie was always trying to help Franklin do what he wanted to do, even though Jerome didn't want it. Jerome just kind of came along for the ride to support Louie and to support Franklin. Louie and Jerome had a great relationship. But when Louie left him to start back fucking with Claudia, and then she, damn near killed Claudia and called Jerome to help, I felt like Jerome was going to be on a downward spiral from there. Because to me, it showed the fact that no matter what, Louie has a hold on him, and no matter what, he will be by her side. He would be by her side. He didn't care. He knew that she was, into some things. She used to be on drugs or whatever, but he loved him some Louie. And so we did see a full-fledged love story. However, it was toxic because once Louie wanted to go against Franklin and Jerome knew damn well they should not do it, it seemed like he never tried to fully stop her. He just went along with it thinking they can figure it out. And Louie, who at one point said that she always just wanted to be recognized, she always wanted to be, she wanted to have her own. She wanted to be seen as a whole person. She's like, people, when we do drugs, when we do deals, like, they don't look at me, they look at you. And I'm like, well, that's true. That is true. And I don't think people realize how much, even though he loved her so much, she was still always looking for a bit of just confirmation that she mattered. And it didn't matter how much we loved her and how much we felt like, well, she's a great person. We love her. And, she's a, you know what I'm saying? I was like, she kept looking for something that was already there, basically. And I feel like had she just not wanted to keep going and keep scratching and surviving and keep pushing and keep wanting to be the top dog on top. And to me, the true downfall was really her going to Teddy and, making a deal to, be frank. I was like, girl, don't do it. Don't do it. But I do feel like the love story between her and Jerome was absolutely real. You know what I'm saying? I saw her post this stuff of them. They did have a whole love story. Like he loved him some Louie, but Louie kept looking for more. Louie always wanted more. And Louie felt like, well, if I want more, it shouldn't be nothing wrong with that. But I'm like, but you can't fuck over your nephew at the same time because that caused the most conflict. And that was when, in my opinion, everything changed. And you started this because Jerome used to be so happy, go lucky in the beginning. He was only angry or upset or looking mad or whatever, like intense drug stuff. Okay. But if I felt like Jerome started to be upset and just completely unhinged once they was like in a full-fledged war with Franklin, because that was his nephew. And I think he never really wanted that. And I felt like Jerome listening to Louie a little bit too long was his downfall. And I think he noticed that too. And once he was like that one time when he's like, I'm done. I'm gonna leave. I'll be done. And he ended up dying, going to save her. I felt like Jerome was so depressed and sad at that point. He wanted to be out of this world. And he probably felt like if I'm gonna die, I might as well die, save the woman I love. And it's sad that Louie never understood Jerome being killed was her fault. Because Jerome didn't tell her to try to get Kane killed. And because she took things upon herself to go get Kane, and now she's even with Franklin, and Louie did it. Because Louie kept doing things, crossing boundaries, in my opinion, where she didn't have to. Like, go get your own connect and let that be that. But you tried to kill Kane. Kane didn't want to kill you. Kane didn't come and kidnap your ass. And they have to come save you. And Uncle Jerome get killed in the process. I said, Lord, not Jerome. And then she was still kind of blaming Frank. I'm like, no, man, it's not Franklin, it's you. You should have never went so hard trying to be the queen pin and cutting side deals with Teddy. Then the kicker was, once she was around here working with Teddy, she didn't even like it. I said, ain't that about a bitch? I can't believe it. Because why would you think that being, in business with Teddy would be amazing when we know Franklin told you how hard things were, how much of an asshole Teddy was. And I just felt like, well, you should have listened. And you can't keep blaming Franklin. It's just not the thing to do. Now, Teddy old punk ass, who I also feel like caused the most tension between Franklin and Louie, because if y'all recall in season 1, Teddy was working with Alejandro. Okay, Alejandro ended up dead. Teddy needed somebody else to work with. He was then working with Lucia and them. And when that fell through, he got with Franklin. Teddy had been used and disposed to people the whole time. The difference was he had the longest relationship with Franklin. They seemed to be, kind of buddy buddies, as much as you can be buddy buddy with somebody, whatever. But I feel like once Teddy accepted working with Louie as well, he knew damn well that would cause a rift. To me, that was him trying to show his power over people. Because let me cause some conflict between this nephew and auntie for no real reason. Teddy was a overbearing CIA operative who kept saying it's for the mission. It's for the mission. But he kept doing stuff for his own mission. It was certain things he did not have to do, that he chose to do. When Teddy acted like he was a friend of another missing person who befriended a missing person's sister and then killed her, that was crazy. When Teddy, took all of Franklin's money and not some of Franklin's money, that also showed him, because my thing is, you took all his money but kept working with his auntie. So to me, Teddy was always trying to just create chaos. While he was the person who they were getting the drugs from, he was also the worst person ever. Because of how many folks he killed, for one, and how he would do stuff like just for fun. And Teddy killing Alton, then being upset because Franklin killed his daddy. But you took all his money. So I felt like he kept doing shit as if it had no consequence. And even though Franklin fully knew you can't win with the CIA, you can't, okay? He kept going. And I feel like Teddy found joy in that. And so when Teddy was kidnapped and got caught by Franklin, and Franklin was around here burning that man's chest up with Crisco grease, I was happy. Because I felt like Teddy had just been an asshole over all these seasons. He deserved some pain. So yes, pour all the hot grease on his chest on the TV show and let it sizzle. Period. Simply for him killing Alton after agreeing to let Alton go. Let him sizzle. And, Louie helping Franklin to get Teddy. I also feel like Louie was like, well, if Franklin died, if Teddy died, either way it'll be one less person who I don't want to deal with. I hope Franklin wins because I'd rather be out of Teddy's way more. But either way it go, I'll be done with somebody. So I felt like, Cissy shooting and killing Teddy, while I still feel like she could have waited just a few seconds, I understand why she did it. I understand the thought of Teddy's a piece of shit. Teddy's a liar. Teddy would say whatever to get free. And Teddy did not want to die in that bunker where they had him at. So he was saying whatever to get whatever. Again, telling Cissy, oh yeah, Alton's alive in the prison somewhere in, I don't know, wherever. And then when she asked him at the last minute, like, what prison you at? Oh, I was lying. He's dead. I killed him and cleaned the room and left and dumped the body. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, bam, you dead. Bam, you dead. Okay. So may Teddy rest in peace. And the fact that the other CIA guy just casually walked away, I'm like, not you leaving and that man dead. I'm leave that be. Now, the fate of his parents. We already talked about how close he was with his mama, even though his mama, stopped talking to him when he was first on drugs, but she got over it. and how he was at first beat out with Daddy, but they got close. Okay, Cissy and Alton having to leave and move to Cuba because Alton decided to do an interview and try to out the CIA. To me, felt like again his parents doing what they thought was fit, even if it didn't help anything, because Alton did a whole interview and it didn't help anything. Cissy killed Teddy, but it didn't help anything. Like it still, both of those options still broke Franklin. And I agree. I think Cissy felt like he's lying because the same story he told both of us something he knew we both wanted. He told me, "Hey, Alton's alive. If you let me out of here, you can see Alton," and it wasn't true. So I think Cissy felt like we don't know what we're calling. He's saying he gonna do this, but because he lied about that, he's probably lied about this too. And so that's why she killed him. And that part of it I understand, but at the same time, I still feel like you can wait. I don't know. But I think Cissy realized Franklin has lost his mind. Once Franklin said that he would be willing to never talk to her again to get the money back. Oh, okay. Because remember, Cissy asked him earlier, "Are you down with us or them? Are you more concerned with making Teddy pay, which is us, or getting your money back and letting him live, which is them?" And so I feel like once he said he would be okay not talking to her, she felt like, oh, so you're not with me. Okay, well then I have to do what I have to do, which I told you was Teddy gonna die. That's it. And so I think that's the real reason she pulled that trigger. And she knew Franklin would be pissed. She said, "Bye, Franklin." And when he went to visit her in the prison the 2 times, like the first time when she wouldn't talk, and he like, why, Ma, why you do it? And he left. The second time he came back after he had been drinking, and he like, fuck you. I'm like, not fuck you, bitch. What? Franklin had completely snapped because he had never spoken to his mama in that way. And I think Cissy, who only had like 2 speaking scenes in this series finale, she spoke one time at court, which said, "I plead guilty. I shot and killed Teddy McDonald, who was a CIA." Blah, blah, blah. She had that scene talking, and then the scene she was talking with Leon. Each time she talked with Franklin, she didn't talk, but the way she acted, her body emoting was amazing. And I think I'm happy Cissy didn't say anything to Franklin because nothing she would have, because she had already said everything. She'd already said everything. So I felt like she felt now he's broken. I can't fix him. Based on everything he went through, I can't fix how he feels. I can get his money back. I also can't get him to forgive me. There's no need for me to say anything. I can listen enough to then walk away, but there's no conversation that needs to be had. But when she talked to Leon, and Leon like, well, what can I do for you? Because the hood feel like you're a hero, but what can I do for you? And she said, pack your bag, go to Ghana and build your wife. Like, don't stay here. Because had Leon stayed there, it would have been worse. So when she said, I already lost Franklin, Franklin will be the greatest, loss of my life in what I've done. I don't want to lose you too. Because Alton dead, Jerome is dead, Franklin has lost his damn mind. So you can leave and be good. Don't leave Wanda. Don't let Wanda leave you. Pack a damn bag, pack all your books, go to Ghana and explore and find who you are. And I was so happy. Listen, so I feel like Cissy waited and shared amazing advice to someone who would listen, because Franklin for the past like 2 episodes wasn't listening to anybody. Everything anyone said to him, he didn't care what they said because he had his own agenda. I think that's why Cissy did not talk, because like why should I waste my breath on someone who ain't gonna listen? But Leon is here listening. So it's sad that Franklin lost both his parents, in a way, because as we see, Cissy never spoke to him again. Because she said, if you want to get that money, are you okay with not talking to me? And he said yes, so we left it at that. Okay. Now, Franklin had 2 loves, on this show. Veronique and then Mel. Now, Mel, who was his young love, in the beginning, who he was like running up in crack houses to get her because he loved her so much. But he also hurt her so much because her father wasn't shit. The cops wasn't shit for how they were doing things. And at one point, it was just her father against Franklin. And when Franklin felt like he had no choice but to kill her father, who was a cop, and make it look like a suicide, and she knew someone right. And, she ended up, figuring out that it was him that did it, and she shot him. And yeah, they lived for a while. So we had that whole crazy season of him, being hurt or whatever, only for us to realize he had gotten better and was kind of faking it, because when he went to see Mel, and he walked in there on the cane limping, and he walked out just fine, showing us he was making people think he was weak to see how they would react. So I'm like, that's why I'm looking like, damn, some Idris played out of this role for all seasons. Okay. And as much as a part of me wished Mel could have came back at some point and they had some kind of resolve other than that, I was happy how that arc ended. Now, him and Veronique. Now, we did not like her last season. Everybody felt like she was a plant. She was going to harm him. She wasn't this. She wasn't. And I hated her hair her first season. They fixed her hair this season. Okay. And people would say, oh, see, I told y'all she fucked up. I'm like, she did not. Veronique did not fuck him over. When Franklin lost his damn mind because he did not, she was down with him the whole time. She was up there having fucking contractions in the bungalow dungeon, but still down for him to the end. Left a mama and all that shit. And once they couldn't get the money, and she's like, let's just start over. We bounced our check on this deal or whatever. We can't afford the deal no more. And when he like, well, I sold all the stuff we owned, all the buildings or whatever, to the fucking old slumlord that his mama used to work for. I said, oh, you have lost your mind. Because you sold property to a slumlord to put money into a project we can't afford. And the fact that she realized, oh, he ain't paying no attention. And then when she went and talked to the man to try to buy them out of the project, he got pissed and came back and said, don't you ever go behind my back. And he put his hands around her neck and was basically strangling her a little bit. At that moment, that's when she made the choice to leave him and took the money. It wasn't because she always planned to fuck him over. It's because I am pregnant. I love him. I have been sitting here down for him. He came here and choked me and looked crazy, and he's making crazy business. He's not making sound business decisions. She had no choice but to leave because he was no longer on the path going up. And once she realized, okay, he's not listening to anybody anymore, and he's crazy enough to try to choke me while I'm pregnant, no ma'am. I gotta go. And I'm with her. I'm not leaving broke. I'm only here with something. So people who try to make it seem like we knew it, no. He had him a down ass bitch who was again living with him on the floor. Okay, cradling him. We was crying, having nightmares, pregnant with the baby, and he want to choke her out. So I feel like, no, she left at the last moment because she knew he was crazy. And her saying, I left, I'm going to raise our child, we're going to have a good life. I have to go. I can't leave you with nothing. So I don't feel like she did anything wrong. Franklin at that point was a whole different person. Okay, so again, the two women he loved, and one way or the other, he pushed them both away. Now, Franklin, motherfucking saint. Damson Idris played this role so well. Look, he will never, and I don't mean this in any negative way, I don't know what role he can play to top this. Not saying any role he plays won't be good, but I feel like he will always be known as Franklin Saint. Always. Because he played this role for 6 seasons, and the different emotions and points of life he had to play from season 1 to season 6. Even the emotions he had to portray this in the series finale, to me, was the most amazing acting I have ever seen on a show in my whole life. And he committed to this role. He committed to this shit. Okay? He was Franklin Saint actually was a bit of a monster. Okay? Because Franklin Saint, who we loved, he played this role so well, we didn't realize until this season around episode, after Jerome died and Louie said, you're the devil. Yeah. Like we didn't realize, oh no, he is. He didn't create cocaine. He did not even create crack. However, he fully brought crack to his neighborhood. He actually destroyed his neighborhood. Now, we know he didn't know how addictive crack would be, but even once he saw how bad it was, he never attempted to clean shit up. And Franklin in season 1, who just wanted to make some money, sell some cocaine, and ran across a person who showed him how to make crack, which can make more money. And no one knowing what a crackhead was. So even though we know for a fact Franklin Saint never attempted to ruin his neighborhood, but he did. It's the true definition of be careful what you ask for because you never know the results. So you wanted to make money and you sold these drugs because again, they didn't sell crack in the other hood. They sold it in their own hood. And once they saw how addictive it was, how crazy it was, never did Franklin try to fix the shit. Never did. Even when he tried to get out the game, he still stayed in it in a way that didn't fix shit. And once he became, because again, if you notice this series, seasons 1 through 4 was showing all the shit they had to go through to get to how successful they were in season 5. It showed him being robbed and look, season 1, the episode with the dude Carvel helped them get that money and drug back, whatever, but Carvel booty took that man booty. I still cannot look at the neighborhood, which is on CBS. And the actor plays Carvel is on there. I'm like, you took that man. The show showed what it took for them to get to a point of Franklin having $73 million in the 80s. is like $1 billion. That's $1 billion. That's how rich he made. 73 million in the 80s by selling crack cocaine. And seeing how they had to kill people, undercut people, Kevin being killed, I'm saying, all these things that had happened from seasons 1 through 4. Season 5 showed how rich they had gotten. And season 6 showed the demise of what they had done. Because greed in some way had taken over not only Franklin, but also Louie. Louie's greed and desire to be on top is what got Jerome killed. And Franklin wanting to get his money back is what cost him his mother and his child and his girlfriend. So if y'all noticed, in season 5, it was happy, happy, happy. They balling, airplanes, lavish weddings, houses, condos, all this shit. Everybody great. The only person who I felt like grew in season 5, and it wasn't about money, was Leon. Leon grew in his mind, in his thoughts. Even Scully as well. We got to season 6, and it's a full-out crazy war. And Franklin's only concern was money, 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 money. He wanted out. He wanted his money, and that was it. And he didn't care what he had to do it. And each episode, even in episode 1, Franklin admitted he don't drink. We had every time he was offered a drink on all the seasons, he didn't drink. And this season, when he sat at that bar and drank that, I said, "Oh shit," because he don't drink. Even the end of the series, when he said to Leon, "I'm free, Lee." In season 1, he said it to Mel. All he wants to be is free. If you don't even know, the store Franklin went with Leon with is the series finale and got a drink was the one he used to work at when he was a kid. When he was saying, "I don't drink. I want to be free." So a lot of stuff came full circle. The show started with Leon, Kevin, and Franklin walking down the street, palm trees and all, and that's how it ended as well. But Franklin realized that my mama killed this man. Okay, that's that one thing. He dead. What I'm gonna do? He never came up with a plan. When Franklin went and finally found Peaches, when the dude gave him Peaches information, at this point Franklin was destitute, broke, no money, begging the banks to give him more time to save his house. It was mama's house. And the dude like, "I got the info. I can't work for you no more. I can't find Veronique. But here's the info." He had found Peaches, and Peaches, who stole $5 million from him, let a few like less than a year ago. Peaches is there, high as hell. The fact that Peaches has smoked $5 million worth of crack, and Franklin was hoping I found him. He couldn't spend all the money because who could spend $5 million? I said, hell, a crackhead. And him, killing Peaches, him seeing a safe, and oh great, he can be saved. He called all the locksmiths. He get a locksmith there, another crackhead at the house. He had to then kill that crackhead, which scared the locksmith dude. The locksmith opened the safe, and it was only $12,000 in there. So that, okay, he ain't got no money. And then when Franklin told the locksmith, "Put the money in your pockets and leave," and then I said, "Franklin, let him leave," and got up and killed them. I said, "Oh fuck, getting killed." Alejandro, Jose Jimenez, he had 3 kids. I was like, "Oh shit, Franklin is really gone," because he had no reason to kill them. But again, at that point, he's desperate, and we see like, 5 years, because it was a time jump, like 1985 or 86 to 1990. And then when we see, Leon come around and in Franklin old house looks destitute. So their old neighborhood, the beginning scene, we see Leon walking down the street to Franklin's house, and the house looks all amazingly pretty. And in the series finale, we see the house is basically abandoned, but he lived there, and he looks like a homeless, alcoholic man. And Leon has seen this, and it just looked like, well, damn. Well, damn. Well, damn. And then they're walking, through the alley again, and they walk past, what's happening here? And Leon said, oh, they're shooting a movie. Now, some folk who may not be old enough may not have known while watching it. That was their ode to John Singleton. John Singleton was shooting a movie, Boys in the Hood, back in 1990. So once I saw the kid in the striped yellow and blue, I said, oh, that's Doughboy. I instantly knew that was them, shouting out John Singleton, may rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? And Franklin yelling out, you ain't gonna win no Oscar, because they lost the Oscar that year. So again, it was just a great scene. And seeing them walking and talking, and Leon just taking in how bad Franklin had got. But Franklin's point was, the CIA after me. I called them and told them, leave me alone. And they stopped following me. Like, you could think, my thing was, people want to say the show made Franklin go out real bad. I'm like, no, if you don't realize it, Franklin downfall was him working with the CIA taking everything, and him just snapping because he had been used to sell all these drugs. They took his money and left him nothing, and he was left to just deal with the consequences. And a lot of times that's what happened to people. That's what happened with Dad. His daddy went to war, came back with PTSD, and so what? Who cares about veterans? Let them be whatever. So Franklin, in a way, became his father, and how he felt used up by the government. And as he said in episode 1, I just want to be free of it all. And seeing them going back to the house and seeing the police, taking the house because of unpaid taxes. And he said to Leon, it's okay. It's okay. I'm free now. Ain't no chain on me no more. Because he kept having to hide in the house so they couldn't take it. And now they took it. So, okay, I'm free now. I ain't got to worry about nothing. And, him like, Lee, yo. The fact he called nigga yo because he kept going back and forth was funny to me. But him and Leon just talking, and him saying, you always been my best friend. I'm proud of you. And he, like Veronique sent me a call one time and said she had my baby, and she's gonna raise him or whatever, but she's not around me. And just them walking and talking through the neighborhood like they used to do, but again, all these years later. And Leon, who looks to be okay, I'm saying, life being good or whatever, but him having to accept who Franklin had become. Even when Franklin said, you got $10, oh, a 20, and he ran to the store to get some. Franklin was never a drinker, so even Leon, like, damn, he drinking now? He don't drink. And them having a heart-to-heart, and again, Leon, like, I'll pay the taxes on the house. Like, I'll fix it up and everything. He like, nah, Lee, nah, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? You my best friend. I love you. I'm proud of you. And then Franklin just walks away. And you hear, like, Saint, like Leon called him, but he just keeps walking. And a lot of folks felt like, well, that was horrible. And then I'm like, no. When I read the director's notes and, about the scene, and they said an easy thing would have been dead or in jail. That was an easy ending. I also felt like Franklin had done a lot of bad, but because we love the show, we love the actor, we were ignoring sort of kind of how much devastation he had caused. Yes, he got into it very young. Yes, no one knew what crack would do to the community. But once he figured it out, you know, we never saw him trying to fix what he did. The directors them said, you know, we felt like as we thought about how to end the show, what if the same place he ruined, he was just there to live in what he had done. And that was the ending. Because he was still in the neighborhood of what it was when he was younger. And how it was later on based on his own actions. You know, the beginning of the show was really him on his porch, him and Leon, you know, walking and talking. In this great family neighborhood, you know, great people. They didn't have much money, but they were happy. And he had all that money, lost it all, and look what happened. And I said, I think on Twitter, I'm like, people don't realize, you see these homeless people or these people on the streets, they used to be somebody. And you will hear, oh, you know, so-and-so, he used to be this, that, and the other. And you never know that based on who they are once they lose everything. And I said, Franklin did not only just lose his money, I think just the stress of what he went through also broke him mentally. And his mama being the one to pull that trigger, and in his mind felt like she killed the chance of me getting my money back, that broke him too. But I'm like, Delson Idris is a handsome man. He has a great British accent. He acted so well on the show. We just sometimes forget, you know, he was a drug dealer. You know, he killed a lot of people. Like even Jerome who beat the lady to death. The two girls who was you know, Franklin's security. The one girl who he beat up and knocked her, you know, kept punching and she died. Like Jerome deserved to die from that. We love him, we did, but Jerome did some fucked up shit too. Jerome killed Scully's baby mama. So I feel like, thank you, Diamond. Not Diamond. Like he killed Diamond. You know, Louie, who tried to kill Kane, undercut Franklin. A lot of that stuff happened. Oh, I forgot to mention, Louie's ending was, you know, she got away. You know what I'm saying? Because Franklin told her the day was after, but she was able to run and get away. She ended up on a ranch somewhere, you know, fearing, you know, for her life because, again, the feds will forever be after her. So Louie also did not have a good ending. She didn't have a positive ending. She would be running on the run for the rest of her life. So she will always be concerned with if they're going to catch her. So everyone except Gustavo, Leon, Wanda, Gustavo, in my opinion, had, you know, happy-ish endings. And I feel like it's because, you know, Franklin never tried to fix shit. Louie felt like even after Jerome was killed that it's all Franklin's fault. She never looked at the part that she played in all of it from the day that she came and took Franklin to see Claudia. Even Cissy helped Franklin make his shit legit. So even in her going to prison, I felt like, you know, she was okay with that. Leon, who had killed Scully's daughter, had been repenting and trying his best to change his ways from the moment it happened. He was always trying to make things better. Even him selling drugs in the projects, he still cared about the projects. Wanda just ended up being, hooked on crack, but was able to be free, get free of it, and then move. So I get, so the right people, in my opinion, was trying to move on and get better and get out the life. Or if you in the life, try your best to help people while doing it. You know, even Leon, like, I'm a keep paying for the shelter of Miss Cissy while you in prison. So seeing Franklin's end, was it sad because we like the character? Yes. But in real life, he's a fucked up individual. Period. He's a fucked up individual. So I was very emotional watching the season finale, because it was so good. You know, it was so good. But when you look over the show as a whole, what happened over all 6 seasons, a lot of them did a whole lot of wrong. And not all of them tried to right their wrong in the end. The ones who kind of did not try to right their wrong in the end is the ones who, you know, got what they wanted. Yeah, Cissy always wanted him to be free. The reason Cissy helped him create the businesses to make it legit was to help him stop selling drugs. And each actor deserves all the praise, because I kept hearing folk talking about how much Franklin needed. I'm like, no, not only Franklin for sure needs, you know, all the accolades. But Cissy, the fact that Cissy wasn't saying shit, but was still emoting so much amazingness. Okay. Leon, you know, sitting up there just looking and listening to Franklin was amazing. You know, Louie in the on the ranch and the horse stables on the ground, just shivering in fear. You know, hell, Jerome getting killed. It all of them, Wanda, every actor on it, Wanda, even Teddy, because we hate Teddy because he played that role so well. You know, we love Oso. You know what I'm saying? This show, to me, I never watched the Wire. I never did. I hear that was a great show as well. To me, the 6 seasons of this show showed how amazing the writers were. Because even after John Singleton passed away, to me, the show stayed great. People can't be watching these shows and they want these unrealistic endings. You really thought the drug dealing dude who you know lost all his money to the CIA would have a great ending? No, like, because that's not what happens in real life. Everyone, at least from from a hood or whatever, you know of someone who was the man back in the day selling the drug. He may not have been a millionaire, but again, the man back in the day who was selling all the drugs, and then now they not nobody. But you can remember, man, back in the day, man, Franklin had a plane. Man, drug Franklin? Homeless Franklin had a plane? Like, those would be real stories. Like, man, Franklin, you don't remember Franklin? Man, really? Red Eye Franklin? Yes, man, Red Eye. That is what really happened. Hey, remember how he was back in 1986? But you're saying it, and it's not 2010. So who he was in the 80s ain't who he is now. And I think that, to me, is realistic. I think seeing Franklin walking and kind of staggering, because he's a drunk now, down the street was so sad to see, but he helped make that what it was. And the kicker was the fact that he never drank and then started drinking, became an alcoholic just like his father. Everything came full circle. Everything. And that's why I said the series finale, to me, was amazing. It gave what needed to be gave. It did not allow us to have this fictional interpretation that, oh, it'll all end great. And that isn't what it is. In every episode of Snowfall, from season 1 to season 6, each episode could have been a separate movie. 6 seasons, 10 episodes, 60 hours of amazingness. And some people don't remember Shifting season 1 because look, you really have to have watched the show from beginning to end to fully get everything. And every actor on this show was amazing. And let's not forget that Franklin killed his white friend Rob, who was on drugs too. I keep remembering people who he killed. A lot of folk. Him, her, bodies. Like, you know what I'm saying? Ooh, this was a great show. You know, and I feel like, you know, people should look. If it comes out on a DVD set or whatever, I'm gonna get it. That's really how to do player because you really have to rewatch from beginning to end, and it'll all fall into place. Even Claudia saying in season 1 Claudia said in season 1 that Louie bit the hand that fed her and got too big for herself, and that was a fallout, which was the same thing that Louie did to Franklin. So they had used people over the years on the show and threw their asses out. The only person I felt like wasn't chill was Peaches, because Peaches came around here and stole that man money. Yeah, Power and Snowfall are not in the same category for different reasons. I still feel like the Power universe, Power, Ghost, Raising Kanan, Force. Is that it? I think the shows in Power. As a collective, they are good. As a collective, there are many episodes that are amazing. However, there are some episodes that's some bullshit. And to me, Snowfall, there's not one episode that someone can say, oh, that was some bullshit. The one episode that was the alternate universe episode that showed what could have been had people made different choices. People did not understand that episode. I did. It was really about, Franklin being shot. And then what would have happened if all the stuff was different? And it's him imagining what life could have been. And then the end of the episode is him waking up after being shot. So even I like that episode. Either folks did not get it, but there's not one episode on Power, on Snowfall, that I feel like is a bunch of bullshit. But I can watch, an episode here or there within the Power universe, within all the shows on Power, and say, but don't get me wrong, I still love the Power universe. I watch Ghost, I watch Ghost, I watch BMF, I watch that stuff. But I used to review Power. But yeah, this show itself, was just amazing. And sometimes you have to not want stuff to fit in a cookie cutter mindset. You have to sometimes think outside the box and think about what was the point of it. And this series was just amazing. And Damson Idris and all the actors on this show deserve all the applause. Jerome directed episode 8 this season. Damson had directed some episodes last season. And it's just amazing. They did John Singleton's work well. Okay. Anyway, y'all, that's it. I gotta go. I hope y'all enjoyed my review of the series of Snowfall. I may do series reviews again because sometimes there's shows I watch that it's just too hard for me to do a full episode thing. But a season review of stuff sometimes is easier to just talk. Okay, but please do not forget to like the video, comment in the comment section for y'all who are rewatching, to subscribe to my channel, okay, to please hit that share button. I love you all. I will see y'all tomorrow. I'm sure I'll be live for something tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I just don't know what yet. But if you have not fully watched the show, go watch it. Okay? I love you all. I want y'all to have a great rest of your evening and a great week. Okay, please be safe, and know that someone loves you because I love you. Gotta go. Bye.